Hello, everyone. It's Matt, Comic Order 410. Some of you have probably noticed I haven't been as active over the past couple months, haven't uploaded a video in a little while, and there's two main reasons for that. 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, I had to put my dog down. He was the most wonderful dog. He was a boxer who was lucky enough to live to the ripe old age of 13, which is very old for his breed, and I'm very thankful for all the time we got to spend together. But it was really upsetting nonetheless because he's the only dog I've ever owned. And the other thing is, back in October, my sister was diagnosed with cancer. They did surgery on her this winter, and the cancer has returned already. The good thing is, they got her into the National Institute of Health in this experimental medication trial. They've been doing trials on this medication for multiple years, and they've had really good results, so we're staying positive. But any of you that could see fit to please keep us in your positive thoughts and prayers, I'd really appreciate it. But as far as comic book purchases over the past month, I did a lot of dollar bin scrounging because these two stores, the more dollar books you buy, the cheaper it gets. It can be 33 cents, 25 cents a piece. So I did a lot of run filling and found some okay stuff. First off, these books are off my pull list. This is Mark Millar's Huck #4. This is the E.T. movie poster variant. And this series has been a pleasant surprise. I'm really enjoying it. So if you see them cheap, pick them up and give them a read. Neal Adams variant month was really cool. I'm not going to show all of them because I'm sure everyone's seen all of them multiple times. But the only one that I really wanted that I didn't get was the Harley Quinn one because the one they held for me was pretty banged up. So they said they'd get me another one. Hopefully that's in my box next time I go back. But really like this variant to Wonder Woman 49. And of course, the one that everyone was after it came out was the Detective 49 variant. You can see why. It's just a beautiful cover homage. And he even added Harley in there, which, as we all know, in this speculative market, will give a book a kick in the ass. Also got some variants to Deadpool, the Mercs for Money #1, because they were cover price at my shop. This is the Ron Lim variant cover. Had MODOK on it, so I had to buy it. And I also got the Stingray action figure variant to Mercs for Money #1. Coming up, little foul language warning for you youngsters, but this is the dirty variant to Scotty Young's I Hate Fairyland #5. Really, really like this cover, how they did it with claymation. And I'm a big fan of Scotty Young, but even I was surprised at how good this miniseries was. Just an over-the-top violent satire of Scotty Young's Oz and Cutie cover work. You know, maybe he was letting off some steam, but I really enjoyed it, and it did well, so they're going to do a follow-up. So can't wait for that, and I highly recommend picking it up if you like that type of stuff. Found some signed books at my Polish shop, really cheap. These were $2 and $3 a piece. This is Robin #1, signed and numbered by Chuck Dixon and Tom Grummett. Has a DFCOA in it. This one has no COA, but I've met Mike Mignola, and that looks like his signature. He's a heck of a nice guy, and this was $2 anyway. Baltimore the Plague Ships #1, signed by Mike Mignola. And The Woods #1, signed by writer James Tynion. And this also has a COA from the shop that he did the signing at. Found some DC Whitman variants cheap. I always grab them when I see them. And as usual, I forgot to pull them out before I started recording and look at the issue number because the DC Whitmans do not have an issue number on the cover. But this is a beautiful Garcia Lopez cover. Had to get that one. It's in pretty nice shape too. And also got this Superman Whitman variant as well. So happy to find those. Found a great deal on this copy. It's certainly not near mint. Not too bad. Has two spine ticks, a little nick there, and a small creasing. But this was like $7 or $8, and it's Captain America 168. First appearance of Helmut Zemo, the Phoenix. Later goes on to be Zemo again. And with all these rumblings of Thunderbolts and Zemo, we'll see. He could be in Cap, or he could be if they do something with Thunderbolts. But I actually had the Power Book and Record set to this issue when I was a kid and listened to it many times. So for that reason alone, the nostalgia, I always wanted to get another copy of that. getting close to finishing my DC Comics Presents. This is one of 2 issues that I've been holding off on buying because I think it is insanely overpriced. You know, a few months ago, this book was fetching over $100, which is absurd. No one can tell you why this book is supposedly a key. It's, it's an early DC appearance of Black Adam, but it's, I don't know. I always thought it was overpriced, so I waited to get it. This copy has some small problems. There's some nicks on the bottom corner here, but it's not too bad, and I only paid $10 for it. So, almost done that run. And this I was very happy to get. This is Charlton Comics Ghost Manor number 3 by the great Steve Ditko, who I am a huge fan of. But the reason I bought this book, you might be able to see it a little bit. I don't know. It's a double cover. So, got a very good deal on this. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. So, snatched that up. Next up, I bought 2 books off my good friend Evan Leahy, and I'm working on my Marvel graphic novel run, and I waited too long to buy these books till the speculator hype got around them, and finally got Doctor Strange Into Shambhala for a halfway decent price, so thank you, Evan. And this one I really waited too long to get. I need it for my Marvel graphic novel run and my New Mutants run, and I should have had it. There's no excuse, but this book has gone way up in the past 6 months or so. Evan told me this is a sharp copy. He was right. This is definitely a near mint copy. So I was very, very happy to get my hands on them. And I thought I was helping Evan out, like he might make a couple bucks off me, but for no good reason, Evan threw in these books for free. This is Gold Key, the Phantom number 14. We had a pretty cool conversation about the Ghost Who Walks and how he's an underrated character. Just hadn't been used properly in a while. He threw in the Untold Legend of Batman, and these are some kind of giveaway because I have the regular sized issues. Yeah, Batman Sweetened Cereal. So they were a giveaway from the Batman cereal. I guess maybe the one back in '89 after the Batman movie. I'm not sure, but very happy to have these. Evan, he gave me number 1. Number 2, and they're Garcia Lopez covers as well, one of my favorites, and number 3. Something else he knows I'm a big fan of, both Batman and Grendel, and he knows I have the Batman Grendel mini and the preview. He gave me this $6.95 cover price. It's huge, but I've never seen it before. It's an Amazing Heroes preview special with Batman Grendel and a Matt Wagner cover. So thank you very much for throwing that in. And he gave me this variant to Star Wars Crimson Empire number 3, Empire Lost number 1. And this is a Paul Gulacy variant. I believe this is a 1 in 10. He gave me this. I should have taken this out. This is a beautiful chromium wraparound variant to Transformers Armada number 1. I really, really did like the Dreamwave series, even though Pat Lee turned out to be a massive dong. But the artwork on those books is fantastic. And he also got me this Virgin variant to Voltron Year 1 number 3, which I did not have. So, man, that was awesome. I'm very happy with the books, Evan, and thank you so much for the extras. You're a great friend. Very, very cool guy. Next up, dollar bin stuff. Buy rip-off press stuff pretty much anytime I see it. I'm a big fan of most of the stuff they've done, and Gilbert Shelton as a person. So, got the Cartoon History of the Universe, number 1 by Larry Gonick, and number 2. And these were in the dollar bin, and they're in nice shape. So, probably would have paid more for that. Found the entire Deadpool Max 2 miniseries, also in the dollar bin, so I snatched them up. These have some beautiful covers by Kyle Baker, who's one of my favorites. I wish he would get back into comics more. There's number 2, number 3, number 4. Probably my favorite cover of the bunch here, to number 5. Beautiful stuff. And number 6. Grab this. This is the second printing of Avengers Assemble number 3. Just got it for the Thanos cover. Absolutely love this Batman Villain Secret Files and Origins cover by Brian Bolland. It is a stunner, and it's not worth anything. There's also a Secret Origins annual cover he did of Riddler, Two-Face, and Penguin, I believe. That's also very, very undervalued. But very happy to get that for less than $1. Found some Adventurers. This is a series from the 80s that was popular during the Dungeons & Dragons fan. I was a big fan of it as a little kid, but they were hard to find. They weren't distributed very well. And I found a bunch in the dollar bins. Got issue 0, which I needed. Got an upgrade to my Adventurers #1 second print. Beautiful cover by Peter Sue. Adventures #2 first print. Beautiful copy. #3, which I did not own. Was very happy to find that finally. And I got #9 and #10. So, just a little series that's not worth anything. At the time when it came out, Adventurers 1 was going for $40-50, which was a lot for a book in the mid-80s, but they're not worth anything now. Nobody's really after them, but found some other titles that Adventure published. I'd never seen this one before. This is Netherworlds #1, so I grabbed that. And I have seen some of these. This is Adventure Comics Star Rangers #3 with a stunning cover by Dave Dorman. So I'd love to get my hands on the rest of those. And found Sandman Mystery Theater #1 in discount bin. Can't beat that. And to close things off, couldn't believe this. It's got some small problems, but still found Shadow #2 in the dollar bin. This was like 25 cents. Sectars #1, toy comic from the 80s. Mark Teixeira, I believe, on this cover. Is it? Yep. And Brett Blevins. Power Lords #1, another toy line. And oddly enough, another Mark Teixeira cover. He was working on toy lines for Marvel and DC. These books were pretty hot back in the 80s. Not worth much now, but found them and grabbed them. Roach Mill #1 and Roach Mill #2. Found this in the dollar bin. It's got some small problems on the spine, but who cares? Wonder Woman Special #1, where she's fighting Deathstroke. Found the entire Time Masters mini, 25 cents a book. I'm not going to show them all to you, but got #1 here and #8. Art T. Baird on covers, who did a lot of prolific work in the 90s, but he's such a good inker, that's all they ask him to do anymore. Found this Dark Horse Aliens trade in the dollar bin, and it's by Edizione Comics. It's actually an Italian Dark Horse Aliens graphic novel, but it was $1, and I just love this John Bolton painted cover. And last up, well, almost last here, yeah. Stardust. Found the entire mini by the great Neil Gaiman and one of my favorite artists, Charles Vess. Found them all in the dollar bin. There's Stardust #1, #2, #3. What a beautiful cover. And #4. So was very happy to get all those. And I actually did get the rest of my Signature Series books back from Baltimore Comic Con, so hopefully either this week or next week I'll upload a video of those. But everyone, thanks for your time. Thanks for your support. I always appreciate it. Take care of yourselves and enjoy your comics.